All right, settle down easy. Okay. All right. We're here today to talk about a specific subject. What might that subject be?
How effective is fake news?
Fake news, the folly of all people who don't understand the internet. Now, if I'm to be correct, we have a special guest tonight, don't we?
Yes, we do. Her name is Crystal, and she writes for the newspaper in Lapeer County.
Crystal, that's a lovely name. Let's hope she has something to say on the subject. I'm Luke Tilley.
I'm Becca Schwab, and running a little bit late today is Chloe Fenslow and Bobby Opolinski, and they will be here with us later.
And a word from our sponsor, Government Printed Media. Because the government would never lie to you, right? Right?
And we're back. Thank you for listening to our sponsor. Looks like these two just made it down here.
Yep,
Hi,
Bobby
guys.
Opoleski here. Glad we can make it.
It's Chloe Fenslow. We're sorry that we were late.
Let's get down to business, though. Hey?
Okay. Well, I have some very interesting little tidbits I got from the ADL.
Fake news, correct?
Yes. Well, this is some big boys, so they clearly know what they're talking about, and they're not just being memed.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys some symbols, and I want to know your feedback about it. Just the good stuff, right? All right, so.
Kind of like a Q&A
Is
type
anyone
deal.
familiar with the peace sign? Sticking your two fingers up, middle and pointer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a goodbye scenario type
Thumb
thing.
would be right inside your palm, something like that, maybe above the two closed fingers.
Yeah.
Can we all do
Correct.
that, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yep.
Racists, all of you. No, wait, not racist, but you are transphobic, all of you.
But wasn't the peace sign made to symbol love? Like love and peace?
That's why you're white and wrong. All right.
Oh.
So, believe it or not, now by the idea of fighting hate, this symbol, the peace sign, is transphobic. This is not a joke because, all right, if you do it, there we go, with your left hand, that will make a G. And
Explain
would
what that
be
is. That's
two.
the thumb, correct?
Yeah.
The thumb is the G.
It sort of makes like a uppercase G, and the two fingers stands for two genders. So when you make that symbol, you're taking a stance against transphobics. No. You're gonna have to bleep that. I'll do it later. Yes, transgendered people. So what do you guys feel about that?
That it's a little bit of a change in my thought process because I did think that was peace, but I'm just going to have to use it in a different way now.
Well,
If I were to ever use it.
Guilt, because it doesn't stop here.
Okay. Well,
Now, we have more symbols. by
I guess
the
I'll never
ADL.
use it then.
The ADL, they have an entire database for hate symbols, and some of these are more ridiculous than others. Of course, we have the basic swastika or SS, whatever. But I've nitpicked a bit, and I found a few that you guys might like to listen to or
Alright.
see. All right, let's see. The sign White Lives Matter. You guys may have heard this, like, the Black Lives Matter movement. No,
Yes, of
movement.
course,
I
yeah.
get it. And unfortunately, saying white lives matter as well. The inclusion of white people being mattering, right? Does all life matter, would you say?
Yes.
All life does matter, correct?
White lives matter is racist, in fact. Yes. And, the white devil needs to know that no one loves them. Okay. How do you guys feel about that? Keep in mind, if you guys don't hear it, they are white. So, I believe I am a nice mediator between the two here. Let's go into it. Bob?
Well, I think we should just drop all these slogans and all lives matter. No Black Lives Matter, no White Lives Matter. Drop those, all lives matter. That's my take on it.
That's also racist.
Everyone is equal.
Yeah,
That's
wasn't
what-
that the point of the movement is to be created equal?
You'd think so, but that's racist. Again, if it sounds a bit ridiculous, this is the sort of the metric we're going off of. What's it called? So again, we were talking about the whole all lives matter, right? You want to sort of drop the whole Black Lives Matter, drop the White Lives Matter. We are all one people, right?
Correct. That's
we
kind of what I'm
identify
on.
Humans. Nope. If you look at it, there's a lot of signs that say all lives matter, that the movement is also racist. Because it is a protest to the Black Lives Matter protests. So that means saying that all lives matter is against the black people movement.
But it's,
I'm including them in my movement.
That's yeah.
But you're standing in their idea. I'm not saying I'm for this. I'm not saying I'm against it.
Neither am I, of course.
In this idea, they state that since that protests, their protest, that you are racist. This is what we're dealing with.
That's
This
very
is why
confusing.
it's sort of fake news. It's because it's just a lot of hysteria that builds up after a long, long time. It comes back.
Kind of people want to be top of the chain type
So-
deal, you know?
But when they say it, then like when they say they want to be created equal, then it's okay. But when we say we want to create them equal, then it's not okay.
You're starting to get it. You know, as long as you just
Because
let
that's
your.
what they wanted, and chubby equal with us. So now when we say that we want them to
Did you
be
say
equal.
chubby?
No.
To be.
Oh,
be,
to be
yeah,
equal.
when
Yes.
I said
I
that-
do agree with Becca there.
I do too.
They said that, like they want to be equal with us. They don't want to be slaves or anything or be treated harshly. They want to be equal with whites. So then now when we say we want them to be equal with us, so then how does that relate to the like north side when they said that they were in favor of it, like creating everybody equal? Does that make everybody in the north racist, but it doesn't make the people in the south racist?
You're racist. No. You have great points, and that's sort of what I kind of want to get into. A lot of these are just made from hysteria, and that's why I collected some topics to sort of discuss. So we have all lives matter and the white lives matter, and it's okay to be white. Now there is another symbol. We're good. I just said it. The symbol, not symbol, but they call it a hate symbol. The sign. It's okay to be white. To be alright with your whiteness is also racist. You need to be on constant 100% white guilt. See?
So just, it's okay to be white.
Pretty plain stance,
the,
right?
The saying, or the statement
The sign.
is racist.
Yes. Now, there may be context to it, like maybe someone with an okay to be white sign may have said a blasphemous word, but the text itself I don't find very hostile, correct?
Yes, I don't believe that.
It's not saying
I
whites
don't find it hostile, but in a way I could see how people think it's racist. Just because if
Just
it
because
was it's okay to be, Mexican, people would think that people hate Mexicans and that they're going with them now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I understand that.
So let's go.
So change it's okay to be with anyone else, any other race, So it could be, but it could also be okay too.
I feel like it's taken out of context.
Yes, it
Like
could
I
be.
feel like
We're starting to understand the world. You guys are still racist, but you're starting to learn better. All right, new symbol. The happy merchant. Now, this is actually racist. I will give it to them. It's very racist, but I just find it kind of funny, because usually white power symbols would have to be simple and to the point, like drawing an eagle or a quick swastika. But no, someone took their time to make this one. For viewers, not viewers, but listeners, it's sort of how you depict a very racist stereotype of a Jewish man. I just find it funny because it's like, if you draw the symbol,
it's conveyed to be a, in quote, greedy Jew.
yep.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
No, it's bad. I just sort of wanted to get down away from the ridiculousness. This is true. This is actually racist. I'll give it to him, but it's just kind of funny. It's just a lot of these
Because who would
symbols are
take
really
their
quick.
time out of the day to make that?
Exactly. That's sort of the thing. All right.
100% racist.
sad.
100% racist. All
Agreed.
hands in?
I
Agreed?
agree.
All right, good. Now, next thing. The troll face racist version. So, Jew mad bro. That's the pun.
But that's a meme, isn't it?
You mad bro is the
You
is
mad,
the meme.
bro,
so they
and-
switched it.
Yeah, Jew mad bro. It's based off a pun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, Pepe
So
the
that's
Frog.
kind of just immature.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, I see.
A little bit of immaturity. Now, are you guys familiar with Pepe the Frog?
No.
No.
Little YouTube character, lovely little frog guy. Also racist.
Wait, you mean the pig?
Peppa Pig.
No, Pepe the Frog. Also criminalized by this organization, ADL.
Now looking at him, I do recognize
Yes,
him.
I
Yes,
do
this-
recognize
this-
it.
If you guys look up Pepe
That's also
on
a
your phone,
meme, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
this guy's Pepe, and he's a racist hate symbol.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't have the answers to a lot of these. Here, let's look it up.
Like, why would a innocent animated frog be racist? There has to be something behind it. Like, are people making racist memes
Here,
from
For a
it?
frog?
For a frog? Or maybe the frog saying it?
Here, let's see. Pepe the Frog is a cartoon character that has become a popular internet meme, often referred to as the sad frog meme by people unfamiliar with the name of the character. The character first appeared in 2005 in the cartoon Boys Club in that appearance. Okay, Pepe the Frog did not originally have a racist or anti-Semitic connotation. Internet users inappropriated the character and turned him into a meme, placing the frog in a variety of circumstances and saying that many different things. So they just make him say just kind of some racist stuff. And so, inevitably, it all became racist.
Yeah, so
It's
when
this
it
whole
came
meme.
out, it wasn't supposed to be racist or anything. but
People made racist versions of it.
Yes,
and
people made it
inevitably-
into being racist, and
Well, it bled into the character as a whole. So now Pepe in general, not just the racist version, is racist.
so again, immature people.
Immature people, yes. We
Creating.
can call them trolls
Yes,
on the internet.
creating racist sayings and slogans out of the frog.
Yeah.
Which is going towards our topic of
Fake news.
yes.
Because
Yes.
it didn't originate from the cartoon or whatever it was.
And the problem with this, I will get into this. The problem with it is when you label these things as like hate symbols, we have to demonize everything about it. So, literally, someone created this character inside of a show, I think, and they made him just a tiny racist guy, a tiny racist frog. And that's what I'm kind of angry about, because people don't know how to take a joke nowadays, I believe.
I would
Yes.
agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Next symbol, okay, you guys might like this one. Yeah, we got into White Lives Matter, yeah. Is anyone familiar with a character named Dylan Roof?
No.
Alright, now I'll go into Dylan Roof a bit.
For
Dylan
some
Roof,
reason. No, I mean, I
2015
might.
attack on the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina. He's a shooter.
Yeah.
And he writes
The
premises.
bowl cut. The bowl cut.
Yes, so you remember.
I do remember.
So, let's go. Since 2017, however, an increasing number of mostly young teenager white supremacists have not only applauded Roof's attack, but have openly promoted him as a hero. Now, the character Dylan Roof is not the symbol itself. He had a bowl cut, if you look at his pictures, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, somehow down the road, the bowl cut of Dylan Roof became a white supremacist symbol. So having a cheap haircut, that's racist as well.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah. Not a good kid, but that's
something
what they
so-
find white supremacist about him.
So, what would it be?
You can
Irrelevant to the topic, I guess.
very much so, unless
His
his white
haircut.
supremacist was fueled by the bowl cut.
Exactly.
Can we test that out? Like, if I were to give one of you guys a bowl cut, can you see if like you'll get more white hate?
Yeah, if I'd go walking around and people being scared of me is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like-
well, no, like literally, if I were to give you a bowl cut, would you just feel more white hate flowing through your veins?
No.
Well,
I'm not a fan of the bowl cut to begin with, but I'm not going to judge someone for getting a bowl cut.
And I feel like the
The
whole
ADL.
situation
Oh, yeah.
doesn't correlate. His haircut has nothing to do.
With what he
With
has
what
done,
he has
yes.
Yeah, there's some pictures of him doing other things. Why don't they, like, here's one of him burning the American flag. You see that?
Dios mío. Oh, there he is. little.
But they take the haircut.
If you
But
guys
they
don't have
grab
a
the
picture of him,
haircut
I'll
from it.
describe him. He has a bowl cut, and he's kind of like a string bean looking kid.
Yeah.
He's not big. He's skinny as a whip.
He's a.
And he
I
had,
know
like, why didn't that become one? See his, like,
He has
his
a-
hat he has on?
And he has a towel over his
I
head.
don't know. I can't
So
give you
that
an
stuff-
answer to that.
But,
But his
that
haircut-
tons
Let's
of boys get.
Yeah.
That's what gets it.
This includes using bowl as a part of the screen name, such a bowl trash.
Well,
Okay. You have something?
I can't think of his name, but the actor in...
News just dropped. Right now.
What?
Hold on. Let's see him here.
The actor in,
Who is that?
Oh,
Dumber and Dumber? That one?
Jim
Is that who it
whatever
is?
his
Carrey.
name
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey has just been reported to be a racist. Let's see here. Jim Carrey
Yes, because apparently
in Dumb and
Having a
Dumber.
bull
he
cut.
has a bowl cut.
Let's see.
Bad man.
Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber has a bowl cut. So could he be a racist? Let's go into it. Yes.
Bad
They're not
man.
even going to do investigation because we already know.
He has a bowl cut.
Okay, alright. Next white symbol, and this is the last one. Little fun thing to do with everybody. Here, it's kind of really difficult because it's kind of just a play on the peace sign as well. Okay, can someone do this for me? Make a W with your right hand by combining the two middle fingers. Oh no. So you can bring that up as long as you want to talk about it. All right.
Okay, there's an
Wait symbol will
article.
have to wait.
Yeah, there's an article and it says convicted Charleston shooter Dylan Roof is a child actor John Kristen Grass. But it was after the shooting this came out of a ton of rumors that he's the former childhood star. But again, there's nothing to back that up. It's false.
Okay.
So
Fake
news.
news.
All right. Yeah. So again, they just do it for clicks. They want you to go in on it, and they got me. They got me hooked. I want to know what's this going on about because it's so stupid. But there are people who believe this. Now, all right. Back to the last hate symbol before we get on to a couple of other articles we'll talk about for a tiny bit. Let's do the white power hand sign. Now, you may want to do this. You'll have to stand up your right hand, put it in the OK, except all three of your pinky, middle, and what's this one?
And for you basketball players, it's the symbol you make when you shoot a three and splash it.
Yeah. All right. Lower it, and you'll make a P-looking thing. Then take your left hand and combine the two middle fingers and your pinky and pointer and separate them. Then you'll make a W with it, and with that you make white power. White power.
And for you football fans, it's the symbol Winston made when he was eating his win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see,
Alright.
I see.
I get it.
That's with your left
Oh.
hand.
Dang it! I almost forgot. Can I talk about one more hate symbol? Just one more.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
All right.
Let's throw that
So
one in
cross
there.
your fingers like this.
Isn't this like a promise or like no crosses count?
No, it's racist. You just showed your racism.
What does that mean though?
All right.
Because
Well-
isn't like
Combine your fingers, and you notice that they loop around, right?
yes.
So little, like the make a promise type symbol. That is racist due to the fact that you are actually spiraling your fingers together like DNA. You know how DNA sort of spirals,
Yeah.
making a code of DNA. That is also racist because you are referring to pure gene Aryan blood. White power. Again. White power. Yes. Okay. So what do you guys think about that?
I always thought that innocent symbol that turned into something so bad was when you do like a pinky promise.
Speak up.
When you do a pinky promise, you know?
Yeah.
And you
And
can't
then
you can't hold it behind your back.
Yeah.
Crosses count.
You
You
can't,
know.
because that's crosses count.
You say
Yeah.
no crosses count, but racist.
Crossing your fingers, your pointer in your middle, is racist now. And we can thank many people on the internet goofballing around and interviewers and real news companies taking it seriously. And this is kind of why I took a stance against most news, in fact. Because it's just field nonsense a lot of the time. It's a boy who cried wolf situation. One day there will be Nazis, and we'll think that they're just common people.
Later, there's just gonna be like some like sign when you give a high five to somebody, and then you're actually,
Or a thumbs up. I
Racist.
guarantee you there's something wrong with the thumbs
or even
up
just
symbol.
like there's gonna be somebody that's actually racist, and they do something like they just like move their hair, and now you do that, you're racist because they did that, and it's gonna be something stupid.
Oh shit.
Thanks to the internet.
You have to bleep that out now.
I will. I don't think they heard me. Let's be honest. Let's be quiet. All right. So I'm gonna look up now. Who here liked the Joker movie? Who here watched the new Joker movie that came out last year?
I cannot
2019.
say that I watched
I
it.
didn't watch it.
I cannot say that I watched it either. I've wanted to, but I've heard a lot of good
I
things
really
about it.
don't like clowns.
Yeah.
Common
So
fear.
But he's not a clown.
he is.
So-
Well, he is a clown.
He
Well,
is
he's a
clown.
Joker.
His face is
Well,
a clown.
If you watch the movie, he works for a clown.
Okay, then I did not watch the movie. So
Yes.
This
I'm better than you because I watched this film.
is a
That's
clown
just
face.
okay. Yeah, no. If that guy is Joaquin Phoenix, he's a good actor. He knows how to be weird. He knows how to dance. Now, this movie is about a guy beaten under his luck who rebels against the system, kind of like a "I've had enough" type story.
okay.
And it's very like it's a character study of the Joker taking a different light to it. And in it, there was a lot of hysteria coming from the media, believing that this will lead to mass murders.
Really?
Yes. All right. Is anyone familiar with what an incel is? Well, an incel is a sort of short term for involuntary celibate. So I'm not. Let's just trim it down. They're awkward internet losers. Let's just say something like that, like they can't talk to girls and whatnot. Look up incel if you want to. Do your own research. Inside this film, they believe that the incels would rise up and rebel against the system, killing a bunch of people because of this film coming out. And there were a lot of media people against it. So they sent police to movie theaters to pat down people who were going to see
This
the Joker
was a
movie.
big thing. I remember this.
Yes.
Like people being scared to go to the movies because of the Joker movie.
Yes.
That somebody would do something like maybe a mass shooting at the movie theater. People were scared to go.
Yeah. And if you don't know, the Joker, it almost made over $1 billion. Here, let's look up Joker.
Yep.
How much money did it make?
Box office $1.72 billion.
Insane.
Budget was 55 to 70 million.
A very nice story with it's good. It's a good film, and people were freaking out because it played a white man who gets beaten up by the system.
It says he was isolated, bullied, and disregarded by society.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's not good for him, but like that was sort of a character piece we were talking about, and people were pissed because there was one party that was pissed because it said the incels would rise up and attack, and then there was the second party which said he's a white man so he can't be repressed. How do you guys feel about that? You don't even know what to say. These are trying days. We are truly in the worst timeline. Well, I don't know about that, but let's see here. So yeah, incel white men. It will increase their violence, and they'll see themselves in Joker and want to murder everybody. And I just find it ridiculous. This happens a lot. It happens too much, where people just freak out about something little and think that people will take real world action to this. But really, the one movie we should be worrying about...
Kind of like when everyone thinks the world's going to end.
Yeah, it caused a lot of hysteria and violence, and just caused a lot of mayhem that didn't need to happen. When really, we should be worrying about Frozen 2. Has anyone seen Frozen 2?
Yes, I have.
Child. Anyways. No, I'm just kidding. Watch what you want to watch. It's a cute little movie by Disney, am I correct?
Yes, but Frozen 2, there was things in it that I believe were not for little kids. Like the way they would say stuff or how things happened, I feel would put a bad image in little kids' heads.
Well, it caused a machete fight.
What?
Alright, let's go into this. Families left shocked after Frozen 2 screening ends in machete brawl. This has been reported on the news, and it's kind of funny because it doesn't have anything to do with fake news, but it's something that happened from a child's film. And it just goes to show that this machete brawl happened from Frozen 2, and Joker was the one that was put up for questioning. Police showed up to the Joker films to pat people down because they thought that they were suspect.
It was teenagers that did it. There was 5 teens arrested.
Machete.
At Frozen 2.
A massive brawl involving machetes at a Birmingham Star City cinema in England.
Yeah.
Huh.
Real happened. Now, so, should we condemn Frozen 2 for starting machete fights? Raise your hand if you think that we should condemn Frozen 2 for starting machete fights.
I don't even know how to go about this right now.
So, in the same context, can we condemn the Joker film to start incel violence? Anyone raise your hands? No one raised their hands because no one believes in this stuff. It's just nerve-wracking for me. Anyways. So,
Stressful.
Okay, we should probably get rid of some of the stories and let's head on into the interview. Crystal, right?
Yes, Crystal.
Alright. So you're going to call her up then?
Yes.
Cool. Let's see what she has to say.
And we're back with Crystal. Hello, Crystal. Thank you for being here today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Crystal writes for newspapers in Lapeer County. Let's start with our first question. Being a news reporter, what's your opinion on fake news?
It's irritating, to be frank. I've been writing for newspapers for more than 20 years, and my top priority in that time has been to report on what is happening in an honest and, as much as possible, unbiased manner. True reporting involves gathering facts about a topic and creating a readable piece that can be understood by the average reader. In a way, your job as a reporter is a teacher. Anyone who deliberately spreads misinformation or who doesn't do the necessary legwork to ensure what they are writing is true is doing damage to both the readers and the profession.
On to question 2. If another journalist posts false information about a shared topic, how do you deal with fake news in your career?
I suppose that depends on where that journalist's work is published. If it's local, I might reach out to that person and let them know that there is misinformation in their article that they might want to clear up. If the person is not accessible or if the misinformation was included on purpose, I think my course of action would be to write something factual on the topic and allude to the misinformation presented by other sources.
On to question number 3. How do you think fake news could affect somebody? Has it ever affected you personally?
Misinformation can definitely be harmful. People form opinions based on what they read, and they act based on those opinions. If what they read is incorrect, that can do some serious damage when it comes time to act. Fake news has made me much more of a skeptic when it comes to trusting what I read. If I'm reading up on a topic and plan to act based on what I read, I make sure I do a lot of research from different sources and take what I read with a grain of salt. If I'm reading something as research for my own writing, I have to be a lot more careful about what I take as truth, because my name will be attached to it and I will be responsible for spreading that information out in the community. That's a tough place to be in. Newspapers are a community's historical record, and what we as journalists write is preserving these events for times long after we are gone. In addition, people don't often tell us about it when we're right, but you better believe we hear about it if we are wrong about something.
Does fake news normally come from the interviewer or the person being interviewed? What are some times that you've had to deal with people twisting stories for attention and making something bigger out of it than it is?
One thing to understand about being the interviewee or the writer is that we all come into things with our own biases. We all perceive things uniquely based on our own experiences. Often, if someone is coming to us requesting some investigative journalism, they are coming from a place of pain. They feel they've been wronged in some way. To them, that is very real. However, it might just be that they don't understand how something works. For example, it's been reported that county treasurers are taking houses away from people who don't pay their taxes. While that's true, and it's very painful for those involved, it's not the whole story. Those reports left out that the people have had 3 years of warnings and that there are programs in place to help. Another example is that people will malign a municipality for putting in a grant-funded playground and not fixing the terrible roads, even though the reality is that those grant funds were only able to be used for a playground and couldn't be used for roads. Fake news reporting would allege that the municipality is frivolously spending on playgrounds when the roads are tearing up people's vehicles. A responsible interviewer will set their own perception aside and form their story based only on the information they get from the sources. And it's essential to seek responses from all sides of the story, not just one. I've personally had to write about things I don't necessarily like or agree with, but the story is not about me, so I do my best to keep my feelings out of it. Journalists have the ability to make their personal feelings on matters known in columns or other publications. However, you have to be careful there too, because once people know your stance on a matter, you could be accused of biased reporting. People love to make the media out to be bad guys, which harms those of us who are doing our absolute best to be fair.
Question number 5. Who do you receive truthful information from when you are covering a story? Can an interview come from misinterpretation or from being less informed about the situation?
It's key to get both or all sides of the story, and it's always good when appropriate to seek out an expert's input. For example, when we're writing about the flu, we speak to medical professionals. They are the generally accepted professionals on the matter. I also enjoy getting alternate perspectives as well. For example, someone who makes elderberry syrup to strengthen their immune system during flu season. Often I'll identify an area in which people in the community are misinformed, and I will use that as my reason to write a story. Boy, is there a lot of incorrect information out there, and people are willing to hang others based on very little credible information. The LPO page on Facebook is a prime example of how terrible people in general are about judgment and believing things they have exactly no firsthand knowledge about. I make it a point to not only seek multiple sources for my stories, I'm also not afraid to ask the hard questions to get to the heart of the matter. It's the only way to get an accurate response.
Question number 6. In today's society, media outlets race to be the first to publish. How does this cause fake news to increase? How do social media outlets affect your performance?
The rush to be first means that often the information released is speculative. They're making assumptions without having the full story. As events unfold, more information comes out that changes everything. The balance between accuracy and speed is definitely tricky, and great care is and should be taken to avoid putting unconfirmed details out there. Generally, you'll see reputable news sources giving attribution to someone at the scene. Something like, the police chief said it's possible that, but that has yet to be confirmed. Less reputable sources will blast the most shocking details as absolute truth, even though it might not be absolutely confirmed. There really is a finesse to it. We want to tell people what we know, and the best way to know is to see it ourselves. I like to do as many of my interviews in person and on scene as I can, because then I can see what's going on with my own eyes and describe what I know, rather than what someone else tells me. You know that old telephone game? By the time the information moves through a few different people, it's changed. Sometimes a little, and sometimes so much that it becomes false.
Question number 7. In your opinion, is there both a positive and negative effect on fake news?
I'd say it's mostly negative. The positive, I guess, could be that perhaps it's encouraging more savvy consumers to delve a little deeper and ask questions before believing what they're told. I think in the age of the share button, though, news, even fake news, spreads faster than a field fire in an August drought.
Question number 8. How do you know if the source is credible? Can you tell a credible source to a fake source?
Well, with experience, a writer will learn which sources they can depend on, but there's always caution to be taken when a source isn't your own eyes. I like to look at a lot of different sources on the same topic and determine which parts are generally agreed upon and which seem to be subject to differing opinions. An expert, if possible, is always a good place to go for information. With experience, you'll develop a sort of radar for bad sources. It's not infallible, but it helps.
Question 9. What will the outcome be if fake news increases over decades? And what will the consequences be if you use fake news?
If fake news continues to increase, I think eventually people will just stop believing any of it, including those that report the truth. I already see some of that happening, and it makes sense. It's hard to know who to trust. There is so much conflicting information out there, and in some cases, both sides have convincing arguments and evidence to back it up. If I was to use fake news as a source, it would destroy the credibility I have worked very hard to build up over the past 2 decades. Once your credibility is destroyed as a journalist, it would be very difficult or even impossible to get it back.
Last question. What is the worst or most effective fake news story? What can you do to stop it?
The most effective fake news, I think, would be the ones that are well written and appear to have factual backup. I think in order to stop it, we need to be extra careful to keep creating accurate and unbiased news and pointing out the things that don't line up in the fake news. When I see friends sharing fake news on social media, I will often try to share a more reliable form of the same story or something that debunks it. What is amazing, though, is sometimes people don't want to hear that they've shared fake news, and they will take more offense to the fact that you pointed it out than they will to the fact that they believed something untrue. For that reason, sometimes I will just move on without saying anything. It's really sad. The only way to combat lies is with the truth, and sometimes people are really committed to believing the lies. All we can do is our best to stay out of that trap.
Thank you for being here today, Crystal.
Thanks so much for having me.
We very much loved your input.
It was an honor to be here, Becca.
That was awesome. That was awesome news. I hope all of our listeners learned something from that.
Yeah, preferably. Let's see if people won't always believe their lying eyes and ears.
Yeah.
And actually listen to some real news.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in to our podcast.
We enjoyed having you listen.
I'm Luke Tilley.
Bobby Opoleski.
Chloe Fenso.
Becca Schwab.
And we're out of here.